Now, my guest that we're going to hear from now is a plasterer, and she volunteers to help women fix up their homes after their abusive and violent partners have caused extensive damage to the properties. She's Naima Ben-Moussa from Buxton in Derbyshire. She's a plasterer by trade, and during the pandemic, she decided to donate her time and skills to renovating the homes of people affected by domestic violence. Why? Well, in March this year, Naima was hired to work on the house of a woman who just left her abusive boyfriend, and the man had totally trashed the place, punched holes in the walls, broken the floorboards, and left electric sockets hanging from the ceiling. The woman offered to pay Naima using what little money she had, but she couldn't take it, knowing that the woman, the victim, needed every penny to feed her 3 children. So instead, Naima decided to do up the woman's house for free. Isn't that brilliant? And what's more, she was inspired to start volunteering to help other victims of domestic violence repair their homes as well. She's now set up an online fund to pay for the building materials of anybody in a similar situation, and has raised over £11,500 so far. Are you somebody who knows exactly what it's like to live in a house which your partner has destroyed, and maybe you wish that someone like Naima had been there for you? Email vine@bbc.co.uk with your phone number. Maybe you still live with the destruction they left behind, the holes in the wall and all that. Naima joins us. She runs the Lady in Red plastering service. What a pleasure to meet you. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Jeremy.
I say meet
okay?
you, I mean we're down the line as all the time, but what a brilliant thing you've done.
It's wonderful, isn't it? You know, and it's really taken off as well, and which has been great. We've had so much support, and really looking forward to actually helping some other women as well. And I'm hoping that this will go further so we can support each other.
And it started with one woman in one home, and this was March, wasn't it?
Yes. So I met a lady who approached me to do some plastering for her, and I went to meet her, and then I heard her story of what she'd been going through, and I could see the pain that she was carrying with her, and the mess that he'd left her in the house. She was living in a room. I went to see her in the evening, so there was no lights on, and it was just so dark, and the atmosphere in the house as well that had been left there, by this person. What he'd done, I could feel it from her, from the home. It had destroyed her life.
Tell us a bit more about the damage.
The damage, so there was plug sockets hanging out of the wall, so they were a risk to the children. There was no lights, there was holes in all the walls, there's no carpets anywhere. There was nowhere for them to recover at all in that room. And it was it was very dark, and you could see the damage that was done. So the children were living that trauma every day when they were, living in that house, seeing what it was that they were seeing. And it was destroyed. Her house was destroyed by this person.
And was it then you were thinking this is another job, and then you realised that she can't really afford to pay for it?
Well, that was it. I knew that by her telling me that she actually said she was going to pay for it out of her benefits. And when I heard her say that, my heart went out to her, and I realised that, one, I can't believe that she's in a situation that she was had to do that, and two, if I had it in my power to be able to do something about this and to help her, then I was going to do that, and I wouldn't stop until I managed to. And this is where it started, really, helping her. And it was great as well when.
Sorry, I was going to say, I gather that she sort of was mixing the plaster with you and so on, so that became a little bit more therapy for her, did it?
Yeah, it was great. So her ex-partner was someone a man in the trade, you see. So she'd been around it. She knew about, the products that I was using, and she really got stuck in, and it was wonderful, to see her, and I could see her strength grow. And I was there for about a week with her, and every day she became stronger and stronger. And not only that, we were able to talk to each other as well. And there was someone there to understood what she was going through. And, but to watch her help me, she really got stuck in, and I felt really proud of her. For just, she wasn't fazed by any of it. When she had someone there in her home helping her, and she realised that there was hope, she helped me as well, really. We helped each other.
Well, great. I know you've, in your background, you've had your own struggles when you were younger.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So when I was living with my real mum when I was very young, I watched my mum be raped in front of me by my real dad. He abused myself, and he hurt all my family, and it's caused a lot of trauma in my life. I've done years and years of therapy to try and overcome that, and and I think the effects, I know what the effects have had on me. And so when I was in that lady's house and I was seeing the effects that it had on her children, they witnessed the assaults. I mean, one of them had gone on for 4 hours, and her daughter was the one that reported it. And I met her and I realised what it was that she had gone through, and to see her pain as well, it made me realise what I'd gone through and how important it was, to have people around you that understand, that can empathise with your situation. But it empowered the children too. They were helping and they were deciding what colours to put on the wall, and it was it's something. It's been quite nice really to be able to have my trauma and be able to pull it into something like this, and to be able to help other women. And I've realised that we can all empower each other by doing that, and it's been a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Well, I tell you what, I've done this show for 18 years. I think you're one of the most inspiring people I've ever spoken to.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
you're
you very much.
incredible. And once you start to look for this pain, you find it in lots of places, don't you?
Yeah, oh, you do. I mean, it's heartbreaking, the amount of stories that I've heard. I mean, recently I did an article for Devon Live, and it was about, I'd been raped when I was 17 years old, and people reached out to me, people that I'd gone to school with from the area of Devon, and told me their story, that they'd been raped, and other people have reached out to me and told me their stories of abusive relationships as well. And it's heartbreaking to think of how many people are left on their own, trying to survive these traumas in their life. And I think that's why it's so important that we stand together. It really is.
And you've had contact with a friend of yours, I think, who's been through it in lockdown. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. A friend of mine had been suffering and had been with someone that was very violent towards her. And in 9 months in the first lockdown, the police were called 62 times. So that doesn't really demonstrate what was happening there. There was so much violence, and she was left on her own. There was no support. And when she went to the police and she reported all of this to them, there was no help for her within those 4 months. She was just left on her own. There was because she was classed as high risk. She was with domestic abuse, but she wasn't able to link in with any of the services to get any help. So for 4 months was left on her own. But also the damages that were done to her house, she was left with £800 worth of damages, and then due to CPS dropping all charges, she's now left with the cost of all of that, and she's been evicted at the moment as well. So it's something that she might lose her deposit, and it's very serious as to what's happening here.
And from what you see, it's usually the bloke. I mean, in this situation of violence, in these cases you've seen, and he's on his way out of the woman's life, and the last thing he does is just punch holes in everything. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I think I think what these people do, they might like to control the situation and control their women, or whoever it is. I'm not just saying it's women, but they break your lives apart in every way possible. If it's not controlling your finances, it's controlling you. It's punishing you for who you are. And really what it identifies is a weakness in them at the end of the day. But they need to go and but by the police not charging these men for these things that they're doing, it's enabling their behaviour, and it's continuing on, and they're going to take that on to never relationships, and it's just like a ripple effect, and it's awful. And so they're tearing our lives apart, and we're the ones that have to try and rebuild it back up. And that's why it's so important that we've all stood together, and there's so many of us doing that,
I was just thinking, for you, as your business is going to be hard for you to do all the time repairing people's homes for free. It may not work as a business model. So how much are you doing for victims of domestic violence?
Well, it's very exciting, really. So yesterday I submitted all the forms to set up a charity here. And so I'm hoping that this will go. I'm really excited for it. I hope it gets bigger. And I hope that, I was hoping I could do a bit of a shout out for people that could help.
Please,
for any tradesmen out there that can offer their services, or, I've got a CCTV camera organisation that are helping with CCTV. Jewel Lux as well. The paint company are offering £500 a month to either give, paint to survivors, or just to get. And I'm also working with Crossroads as well, which is an organisation. So I'm hoping that there's going to be just make it much bigger, so we can all support each other and get as many services in as possible. Anyone that can volunteer or has any ideas as charity, raising funds, I'd be so interested. So please reach out.
So if somebody wanted to say just fund your next job with somebody whose house has been busted up, they could do that, could they?
They really could, and my God, would it be appreciated?
And where would they go to? Is there a website or something?
Oh, well, for now, I'm not really good at these things. So wait, if there's anyone out there that could do a website...
Oh, it's just Lady in Red, is it? Is that what we look for?
Oh, right, sorry, yeah. So Lady in Red Plastering Services.
Okay,
I'm on Facebook at the moment, and the fundraiser as well is on there. So it's a domestic abuse survivors, Let's Change Lives. And so you can either donate money to that fundraiser or just message me. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Listen, you can hear me. I'm writing it down. You can hear me writing it down. Lady in Red Plastering Services. I'm going to get in touch with you. And
thank you.
Listen, thank you, Naima. What an inspiring story of lives being changed.
It really is. And I thank you so much for this opportunity, Jeremy. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks
Take
very
care.
much. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Naima Ben-Moussa. She runs the Lady in Red Plastering Service. And what about that? She's had her own struggles, and she just met a woman whose house had been busted up by her violent partner. And she thought, I'm going to do this job for free. And it's grown from there. It's Guest of the Year